Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Yitz Epstein. I am a narcissistic abuse life coach. Today I'll be discussing the damaging effects of negative thinking. At any moment, at any time, every individual is able to choose their thoughts, whether it be a positive or a negative thought, which ones to dwell on and which ones to ignore. Now, negative thinking creates negative emotions, and negative emotions creates more negative thinking. And therefore, this feedback loop, unless identified and broken, is very difficult to get out of. The same feedback loop would apply to positive thinking. Once the momentum of thinking is either positive or negative, it is very difficult to break. It takes a lot of energy, effort, and willpower to reverse. When a person is abused, they are going to be in possession of a lot of negative emotions, which is going to lead to a lot of negative thoughts. When a person is in possession of a lot of thoughts that are negative, it's very difficult to have a positive mindset. Ultimately, this is the reason why victims of abuse are usually much more depressed, anxious, and show a lot of symptoms of having negative thought processes. The art of choosing your thoughts is a life skill, and because abuse victims have been abused, mistreated, they don't have the safe space to really create peace, calm within, and choose positive thoughts. Therefore, it's very difficult for abuse victims to have a happy mindset and choose positive thoughts. For many, they may not even realize that positive thinking is available. According to psychiatrist Carl Jung, there is what is called the collective unconscious. This is where the groups of people, whether it's a society, a culture, or even a continent of people, all have similar beliefs, attitudes, and thoughts. When groups are thinking negative thinking, there's usually negative symptoms as a result collectively. Negative thinking actually becomes a sort of pandemic when many people are in fear. This is specifically how the media and how social engineers are able to control the masses. By inducing fear in the collective unconscious, it creates a sort of groupthink, and everyone is pushed and pulled according to the will of those who are controlling the masses. On an individual basis, on a micro level, each person has the ability to choose which thoughts they would like to entertain, whether it's negative thinking or positive thinking. These thoughts are going to reflect out into the outside world as the reality that this person lives in, and therefore your thinking, which leads to either positive or negative emotion, which then leads to decision making that is either good for you or not, will literally directly correlate to the reality that you are creating in your life. I'm going to quote from an article, this one labeled The Damaging Effects of Negativity by Brie Melanie. She offers a couple different types of negativity and negative thinking. The first one is cynicism. This is a general distrust of people and their motives. The next is hostility, unfriendliness towards others and unwillingness to develop relationships. The next is filtering. This is only noticing the bad of what should be a happy and joyous experience or memory. The next is polarized thinking. This is the belief that if something is not perfect, then it is in fact horrible. Jumping to conclusions, assuming something bad will happen because of current circumstances. Catastrophizing, the belief that disaster is inevitably going to happen. Blaming others for personal maladies or feeling that other people are responsible for your downfall. Using your emotions to define if something is real or not. Thinking that if other people change or the circumstances change, then a person could then be happy. And finally, heaven's reward fallacy. This is the belief that with hard work and sacrifice, good things must happen. And when they don't happen, it leads to depression, anxiety, and even anger. Now, extended bouts of negative thinking and negativity can actually affect your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. When there are stressful thoughts, it creates cortisol throughout the body. This cortisol has a negative effect on the mind, body, and the spirit. Here are some of the symptoms that can occur if you are engaged in negative thinking. Headaches, chest pain, fatigue, upset stomach, negative sleep patterns, anxiety, depression, social withdrawal, drastic changes in metabolism, overeating or undereating. The first step to overcoming negative thinking is to identify that you are not your thought. Who you are is the presence behind the thought process. This will allow you to think negative thoughts and even have your mind flooded with negativity, but ultimately because you know that those thoughts will pass, you don't cling to them, you don't try to control it, but rather you understand that they are not who you are and you allow them to pass. So here are some tips on how to overcome negative thinking. First is to live in the moment. Focus on one task at hand and be present for whatever you are going through at the current moment. If a negative thought shows up, immediately respond with 3 positive thoughts. If you get into this habit, eventually you'll be so accustomed to combating negative thinking with positive thinking. next is to realize what is real. Oftentimes our negative thoughts, our imagination, our mind creates false ideas and constructs of what reality is. So to discern between what is real and what is in fact a negative thought made up by the mind will do wonders in regards to how to deal with negative thoughts and creating and maintaining a state of inner positivity. The next is be positive. Practice positivity. Do something habitually, whether it's a habit, whether it's hanging out with loved ones, or an activity that you know you will enjoy. If you get into the habit of doing positive things, ultimately you'll cultivate a lifestyle of positivity. The next is turn negativity into action. Everyone is going to run into negative thinking, but when you immediately jump into action, it actually alleviates anxiety and takes the momentum in the direction of something that you want to do, as opposed to sitting and dwelling on the negative thoughts, which only bring you down. Finally is spending time with positive people. Positivity is contagious, so is negativity. So if you're around people who are good for you, who have your best interest, who reflect back to you good things about yourself, it'll cultivate that positivity within, which will uplift yourself and those around you. If you are struggling to overcome abuse, if you find that your mind is flooded with negative thinking, if you are having trouble dealing with negative emotions, please allow me to assist you in identifying your wounds of childhood, which are most usually the cause of the patterns of negative thinking. Allow me to help you sort of rewire your mind so you can have positive thoughts and get into the habit of creating positive thinking, which will ultimately have an effect on every relationship in your life. So it really comes down to identifying your wounds of childhood, identifying your negative thought process and patterns of thinking that are stemming from those wounds, helping you cultivate relationship patterns that are healthy, good for you, so you could attract people who also have those positive thought patterns and relationship patterns and connect in a positive and growth-inducing way. I'm going to leave my contact information below. Please do reach out if you would like a free 15-minute consultation to discuss how I can help you on your healing journey. If you have not subscribed to my channel, feel free to like and share this video with who you find might benefit from it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Until next time, take care.